It's so intense. Leland is actually joining us live right now. He's host of On Balance on NewsNation, co-anchor of NewsNation Prime special coverage. So, I mean, really, a good point in all of this is we're not here to criticize the officers. We're just telling people what reports are, that there were a number of parents who thought this was taking too long, which obviously you could understand them feeling. But then we're still awaiting news on this timeline, the tick-tock of events that happened leading up to this gruesome murder. What are you hearing right now on the ground from law enforcement? Have they responded to any of these accusations?
Sure, Adrienne. It's also important to keep in mind, we don't really know when the video of the parents being upset took place. Had the shooter already been killed? Had law enforcement already gone in and then had to come back out to try and find somebody who could unlock the steel door? Because as schools have been hardened over the years to prevent school shootings and try to mitigate them and prevent gunmen from moving inside schools, it does allow people to barricade themselves inside a classroom. So it's very, very difficult to try and make any kind of even really accusations. Any parent who's standing out here and hearing gunshots and knowing their kids inside is going to be screaming at anybody out here to go do something, understandably so. It's a big campus. You have no idea what was happening on the other side of it and the like. The Texas Department of Public Safety has said from the time that Salvador Ramos drove up here in the truck to the time he was dead inside was somewhere around 40 minutes. That sounds like a long period of time. If you think about it in a small town where there's only a couple of police officers on duty and the all-call goes out, it's really not. And in that time, there was a lot of children evacuated. There was a lot of law enforcement who confronted the shooter inside, but then had to retreat because of the locked door and the like. So it is still way too early. And at least so far, any kind of evidence to point to a Columbine-like situation or to the Parkland-like situation where police clearly delayed and borderlined at times on not confronting and not running towards gunfire, that evidence just isn't there yet.
Yeah, and that's not something we're comparing this situation to. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I was there in Parkland for that story, but none of us wants to point fingers here, despite what we see a lot of politicians do in stories like this. This is not the time for blame. This is the time for comforting this community and to finding answers as to what exactly happened so it doesn't happen again. But I have to ask you, some of the law enforcement, the border agents specifically who responded, they had kids that attended this school and they had kids they didn't know where they were.
Right, and one of the deputies who works in this area, who's a sheriff's deputy, his daughter died. He arrived to the school to hear for the shooting and responded to it and found out that his daughter had died. So it shows you how personal this is. It also sort of informs us and gives us some of the very few hard data points we had. The off-duty Border Patrol tactical team members that arrived here, they heard the call on the police radio go out. They arrived here. The Border Patrol agent who ended up shooting and killing Ramos inside the school, we have a picture of his hat. He was wearing a baseball hat off duty. That hat has a bullet that went through it. So a couple of millimeters difference and he would be dead. But the fact that he had just a ball cap on and didn't even take time to put on his full tactical gear, his helmet and his body armor that they typically wear, they have in their cars and that you would wear going into a tactical situation, that speaks to a timeline that is compressed, and it speaks to officers who went in to confront this gunman without really regard for their own lives, which would speak against any kind of complaint that they waited too long, Adrienne.
Right, and again, so many of them familiar with this community. So many people know each other. It's a very tight-knit city. Thank you so much, Leland, and I know that you're going to be updating us throughout the day. Live reports from Uvalde with Leland Vittert. Join him for On Balance at 7 Eastern, 6 Central Time. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.